for the game. It's not only for a 17-hour, 1,300-mile trip.
And this is the fifth game of the season for the Tigers, and the fifth of 16 consecutive road games to start the year, as we do see the action getting underway here at the JMU Convocation Center.
Yeah, well, this is a team that's played with a lot of energy early, and you got to wonder if all these road trips and back-to-back games are going to affect their stamina a little bit here.
And the first shot of the night, and an offensive rebound for Derek Griffin, who averages nearly 8 boards per contest.
Well, this is a big Texas Southern team, but it's also a Dukes team that's very good on the board. So I'm curious to see who's going to win that matchup tonight, as JMU has won every single rebounding matchup this season, although they're 0-3.
Here's Jackson Kent with it again in his 100th game played. He has not missed a ball game, knock on wood, since he enrolled here at James Madison University as a freshman.
Well, he's one of the 7 senior leaders on this team. He's the only senior in the starting lineup here tonight, so they've got some experience coming off the bench tonight. But Jackson's certainly been a staple of this team in his 4 years here.
Snowden tosses it up, and after a couple of taps, the rebound comes out. Here's Robinson on the run. He'll pull up, he'll launch the 3, and it's good.
And Delani Robertson is going to make his real estate there outside of the 3-point mark there. He's coming off of a game where he hit probably his biggest 3-pointer of the season, which came at the buzzer at LaSalle just this last game.
LaSalle, of course, you may recognize one of the Explorers' assistant coaches is Matt Brady, the former head coach here at JMU. And D'Alembert loses the handle out of bounds. And a turnover for James Madison. That last shot Robinson hit his 10th 3-pointer of the year, 10 for 31 to the moment.
Well, protecting the ball has got to be one of the key game plans for the Dukes tonight, because they've had a ton of turnovers this season, especially against Rice, where I believe they were in the 20s in turnovers.
25, that's right, Adam. And when you look at the differences in the number of turnovers per game, the Dukes, they are turning it over at 16 and a half. Their opponents, they're only forcing their opponents into 8 turnovers a game.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit here about the size of this Texas Southern team, so those rebounds aren't going to come as easy as they have been in the first 3 games of this season. So that means they're going to have to be smart on passing and open up some high percentage shots, because it's going to be a battle down low here tonight.
The foul, by the way, was on Snowden, and the rolling shot for Jackson Kent, who entered the night with 791 career points. And there's a nice alley-oop reverse dunk for Derek Griffin.
Wow, that's one way to suck the momentum out of this stadium. It was definitely a big shot for Jackson. He's struggled for field goal percentage this season, so it was good to get his first shot of the night drained.
Jackson 21% on the year. And a rebound again ripped down by Griffin. Griffin at 7.8 rebounds. Marvin Jones leads the team at 8. A reverse layup as Zach Lofton drives in, and a 30-second timeout called right away, as Lofton has his first 2. Again, he averages 21 points a game. He also shoots at about 20 shots per contest as well, so he will be a volume shooter we may anticipate tonight.
Certainly. Well, when you look at the turnovers, the JMU has been giving this season, that's led to a lot of double-digit runs for opponents here. So that's when Lou Rose got to come in and take these timeouts, as he's done early here, to try and stop that momentum from getting, eliminate Texas Southern's momentum early. You don't want to get them off to a big lead early on here.
And Coach Rowe. I think the biggest disappointment for Coach Rowe at this particular early portion of the year is the Dukes defense.
Yeah, well, last year they had the historic defense. They led the nation in opponents' field goal percentage from the 3-point at 29%. And they've struggled a little bit early on this season. They're playing some out-of-conference games, so that defensive field goal percentage really started getting impressive for the Dukes defense once they opened up conference play. They were playing familiar opponents, so I'm not worried yet for the Dukes defense. I'd like to see them get their rhythm. They're under a new coach. They're under a new starting point guard here, so it's going to take a couple games to find that rhythm. So it's not panic mode yet for the Dukes.
Lamont Walker called for the foul. That's his first, as Ivan Lukic found himself bringing it up the floor. So Shakir Brown, who started the first 3 games of the year, did not start against Montana State, one of the first off the bench. He and Tom Bodanovich, and there is Joey McLean with the 3-pointer. That is his 8th of the year. 8 for 15 from beyond the arc, shooting the ball very well to start off, just not taking a lot of shots early. And there's Lofton as he will loft it up and draws the contact.
Well, Joey McLean not only can pull up from the 3, but he can also drive and attack that paint with force, and that's going to open up guys like Shakir Brown, maybe Dimitri Chabarkaba outside. So the three-point game is going to be very crucial for the Dukes here tonight.
Foul is called against Dallenberg. That's his first. And a couple of shots for Lofton as the redshirt junior from St. Paul, Minnesota. He's well traveled. He's been to a number of places. Started at San Jacinto, was at Minnesota, was at Illinois State. He has bounced around quite a bit. And at the free throw line, that's really, he's got a strong game, but if there's an Achilles heel to him, it is at the free throw line. And he does go 2 for 2 there, but shooting just 60% from the stripe. Vodanovich will inbound it to Shakir Brown, and this press, the Dukes struggled against the press against Rice here in their home opener.
They're going to have to get this ball past mid.
Just do.
There we go. But you're exactly right. Rice played the full court press very well against the Dukes earlier this season, so they're going to have to, not press as many numbers forwards, get some help on that back court to try and advance the ball.
Paulius Shotkus is also in the lineup for the Dukes as McLean fires the three-pointer up again. Quickly down the floor, taking the shot off the square, but off the mark is Kevin Scott.
And a strong board from Tom Vodanovich early there.
Backing down, it's Shotkus with a strong move, but can't get to it. On the floor, Vodanovich. McLean, here's Brown. He sets up, spots up for the tray. It's no good. Tap from Shotkus to Jackson Kent. He finds his way to the rim.
And a strong finish from Jackson Kent. He had to accept contact there and stay strong to be able to finesse that bucket in the paint.
Dukes were down 7-2, but they have closed the gap 9-7.
Yeah, well, a strong offensive effort for the Dukes here. We see Tom Vodanovich going down to the ground, fighting for the ball. That's the kind of player he is.
And up and in and dropped in by Derek Griffin, and a foul called against the Dukes.
He'll get the opportunity for the three-point play.
Tom Vodanovich is called for the foul, his first. Our first time out of the evening. The Dukes down by 4, 11-7. Back with more after this timeout on Matazone HD Sportsnet.
No, I didn't make that purchase. Someone must have my card number. So I can pick up a new debit card right now? Thank you. All right, everyone, follow me.
Coach, the gym is that way.
Okay, everyone, do some squats.
Come on. This may take a while. Here's your card.
Thank you.
Instant issue debit cards. Security, convenience, together.
Well, that was fast.
Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
Where next? The dentist?
Take a look inside the numbers presented to you by Virginia Lottery. And a lot of those numbers, certainly you can see why the Tigers are off to the good start. It's a good average of 76 points per game, 10 more than JMU. And free throw shooting is pretty decent there too. JMU a little better on three-point shooting.
Well, it's going to be the three ball and the rebounds that's going to give JMU the slight advantage here over the Texas Southern Tigers here, as Texas has shot the ball very well and they're good from the stripe, so they got to limit those fouls and limit mistakes defensively.
Now, a lot of folks were wondering, Adam, about, we talked about Texas Southern being on the road for the first 16 games. Why JMU went out to Montana State all the way across the country practically to Big Sky Country for the one game. Well, this was one of those pod schedules. If you look at Texas State, Texas Southern. I keep wanting to say Texas State. Texas Southern, Rice, as well as Louisiana and JMU, they're all playing each other. It's one of those pod sit-ups as the free throw is missed. And JMU is fortunate because the only road game in that pod is to go to Montana State. They get everybody else here. It sounds like a Rob O'Driscoll scheduling party to me, actually. Rob now on the staff at Drexel. Rob was the associate head coach here under Matt Brady, and that's one of the things he liked to do was this pod scheduling. There's Vodanovich, and it's tapped out.
Another hard-working tip off of the rebound to give the Dukes a second chance at that.
And that was read well by Derek Griffin, but the foul is called against Joey McLean to avoid the run out. That's his first personal foul. Team foul number 4 on the Dukes already. And he just read that like he was playing in the secondary like Raven Green.
Well, that's right. He's not only a big threat down low, he's aware and he's got good hands. So he's going to be pressing. He's going to push himself forward a little bit and try and get those quick turnovers, as he knows that this is a JMU team that is prone to turnovers.
Kevin Scott will inbound, getting it over to Robinson. Dukes look to be in a zone right now. Terrence Johnson is reported in for the Dukes, number 11.
Good ball movement here from Texas Southern, but a great block by Tom Vodanovich, who's had a hot start to this ball game.
Here's Brown, quickly pulls the trigger, comes up short. That just does elude Shotkus. Gives on the left side. McLeod up and under, it's good. Jalen McLeod, a 5'10 junior from Fort Worth, Texas, has his first 2. He averages just 5, and it's a 6-point spread for the visitors.
Well, I like the effort that's coming from the Dukes right now as they're fighting hard on those second chance opportunities. They're getting some turnovers themselves, but now it comes down to converting on turnovers and getting those points. We saw Shakir Brown with an opportunity to cut that deficit to 3 from the corner, but he just couldn't get it.
Kevin Scott, the foul, that's his first. Team foul number 2. That sends Paulius Shotkus, a senior from Lithuania, by way of Barking Abbey at the free throw line, where he is 6 for 7 on the young season. That translates to 86%. And now 75%. It's easy on the early portion of the season. The numbers are not quite so big.
Yeah, when conference play starts, that's when it gets a little difficult.
You're right. Can't do the math quite that fast.
Yeah,
here's Paulius Shotkus on the board now. 13-8. Dukes have not had the lead in this ball game. Texas Southern jumping out to the early start, and there's another swish.
And Delani has a stroke from 3. He is shooting the ball confidently. I mean, nothing boosts your confidence a little more than a buzzer beater 3 to win the game. But man, he has got a pretty looking shot. The Dukes are going to have to take that into account tonight.
That's his second 3-pointer. Here's Johnson. He'll go to work, draws the double team. Shotkus. Vodanovich will try a 3. It's off the back of the iron, and a rebound ripped down again by Griffin. Vodanovich, that was his 6th 3-point try of the year. He's good for a couple of them each ball game, even though he's the big man to kind of body in the middle as well. We'll have a special halftime guest for us this evening, and that's going to be head coach of the JMU football Dukes. Mike Houston's going to join us at intermission.
Oh,
another 3-pointer.
3 threes to start the game for him. All of that one was from deep. That was an NBA 3-pointer there, and it was contested.
And that breaks the lead open to 11. First time in double digits this evening for the visitors. From Houston, Texas, a historical black college is Texas Southern, established in 1927.
And look, Delani is just going to sit back a little bit towards half court here. He wants to arrive a little bit late, see if JMU can almost forget about him to open up some wide open 3 shots for him.
And we get an elbow and a foul called against number 25. That is Jamie Rutherford, a junior from Indianapolis, Indiana. That's his first, 3rd team foul, and Yohani Dallenberg reports back in for the Dukes. Dallenberg without a shot or a rebound at this point.
Well, we see we got the band cheering on the sideline as Marvin Jones trips on the sideline.
Well, they got 6 guys on the court. What is this? When the music stops, somebody's got to sit down. There we go. They finally got it squared away. That was like a Chinese fire drill.
Oh, man, maybe this road trip is
that's right.
starting to take a toll on their mental game.
Dallenberg spins, and he just draws the contact. And that will be against Derek Griffin, his first.
Well, we've already seen Pauly Yashotkus have to pull up one of those Chabarkapa hook shots from just outside of the paint, and we see that again from Yohani. This is a Texas Southern team that's not giving up a lot of real estate down low, so it's forcing them to take these mid-range jumpers and hook shots, and those aren't very high percentage shots, especially for big guys down low. So the Dukes got to find a way to get down low and dominate the boards.
Dallenberg goes 2 for 2 at the stripe, as he is 7 for 9. And that's quite the improvement for Dallenberg to start off the year shooting that well at the free throw line.
Much improved from Yohani. I'm in class with him, and so I was asking him, I said, how's your free throw game looking this season? He said that's something he's certainly putting a lot of effort into, is trying to improve those numbers, as we see he's already done so early this season.
Well, Griffin is being the ball hawk. He keeps stealing the ball away from the Dukes. That's his second theft.
And then look, he was about to pull up from 3, it looked like. This guy does it all.
Dukes have 3 turnovers, 1 for Texas Southern at this juncture.
Yeah, controlling the ball is what Texas Southern is trying to do right now. You've got a confident Delani Robertson, who just turned his back on the JMU team to turn and look at his coach for instruction. That's certainly some confident plays. He tried to pull up for his 4th three-pointer of the game.
Now Dukes won't waste any time. Shakir Brown again launching it upon receiving.
Joey's going to slow it down here a little bit after the offensive rebound.
And that's what Coach Lou Rowe has gone all the way to the mid-court stripe, saying, slow it down, let's run some offense.
Yeah, well, when you get offensive boards, oftentimes the first thing you want to do is kick it immediately back out and get another shot. That's good on Rowe to try and slow this team down, so you can put a little more effort in, or a little more of a thought process into your offense, as Yohani finishes an easy layup to cut the deficit to 7.
Yeah, Yohani with 4 consecutive points, 2 from the free throw line, that one on the layup, and the Dukes down by 7. Weaving up the top, here's some penetration, kicking left side and out of bounds, and that'll bring us to a media timeout.
And Texas Southern as a whole is not happy with that giveaway. They're just a miscommunication on their part. Team that has been slowing it down and playing some very patient and careful basketball.
Second turnover for the Tigers. We'll be back in just a moment. 19-12, Dukes trailing it here on Matazone HD Sportsnet.
When I started looking at JMU, I realized the commitment the faculty have to teaching and making sure their students are learning and their students are mastering the concepts. It provides you an environment to really dive deep into what you're passionate about.
What makes JMU different? It would have to be the people and the commitment of the people to partner with you to achieve your goals.
I see you hidden in the night, I found you. I see you separate from the others. I couldn't say what I was thinking. I had to listen for it was in.
Most weekends only last a couple of days. Some last a lifetime. Hampton, we go together.
You're in the zone, you're in the zone. You're my Buffalo Bill, now you're home alone, you're home alone.
Enjoy a sip of a delightfully refreshing McDonald's sweet tea. It's fresh brewed and a large is only $1.
Dukes trailing the Tigers of Texas Southern 19-12 here on Matazone HD Sportsnet. A couple of historical folks that you might know that actually attended Texas Southern. You know Michael Strahan, don't you?
I've heard of him a couple times before.
You may not know him personally, but he is an alum of Texas Southern, as is Mickey Leland, a congressman from the 18th District, who was actually very much instrumental in a lot of working for hunger, trying to prevent hunger, and he actually unfortunately died in a plane crash in 1989, but during that time was well known for what he was doing as an activist in world hunger, and that plane crash actually occurred in Ethiopia. So foul called on Bynum. That is his first. Ty Bynum from Philadelphia. So he played in his hometown.
Look at that.
Oh, there's a foul on Griffin. That's a big foul. He has been a nemesis for the Dukes, and he picks up a foul.
That's his second of the game already, which he's been their leading stealer of the basketball here tonight. He's certainly not a guy you want on the bench. As he was getting that foul, he was stealing the ball again.
Duke's got a bit of a break there, I think, but they are calling these fouls very tight this year. There's no doubt about that. McLean pulls the trigger, and that goes off the hand. The Dukes will get a new possession.
That's right. Well, you said it right. The referees are certainly calling a lot, as we saw. Quite the slow game here at the Convocation Center against Rice. How many free throws were there? A million? Five?
Yeah, give or take. There were 66, I think, thrown up in the game, and it was not off the mark much. I mean, one team, Rice had 34, JMU had 32. Here's Vodanovich with a tray.
Vodanovich, I've been watching him practice. It seems like he's not even practicing at all down low. As he's been practicing those mid-ranges, the three-pointers, he's been shooting a lot at practice this season. He's trying to add that as another weapon of his arsenal.
Yeah, that's his third tray. Jamie Rutherford, though, has the answer at the opposite end as he picks up his first three-pointer of the year. He's only 1 for 4.
And it seems like every big shot the Dukes are making, the Tigers are coming down and matching him with one of their own.
McLean kicks it over left side. Vodanovich will try another. And finding his way amongst the trees is Robinson. He'll quickly bring it up. Robinson from Oakland, California. Texas Southern's got guys from all over the nation. And we get a foul called against the visitors this time.
Well, we talk about all these road games that Texas Southern's playing. Check this, Kurt. They're only missing 5 days of classes this season.
Wow.
For all of their 16 road games that they were starting the season. Now, Coach Davis said that they were trying to add Kentucky on that Friday where they played Arlington and then went to Delaware, but they didn't want him to miss class, so they didn't add that to the schedule. This was a team, 16 wasn't enough for him. He wanted to make it 17.
Wow. Yeah, but you know what? Going to Kentucky, I think he would have pocketed quite a bit of cash.
I certainly think so.
I mean, the program, obviously. I'm not talking about Coach directly, but that certainly would have been a money game, as probably many of them are.
Yeah, absolutely. It would have been great financially for the program and also for the experience playing in a great Kentucky program. And I think that's why Davis is so happy to play on the road in all these games. It's giving this team an NCAA tournament kind of feel to it, traveling around, playing on the road. And he said half of his team already thinks they're pros. He wants to test them on the road, see if they can play back-to-back, see if he can take away the favorable scenarios, and see if they can perform against adversity.
Well, they were in the NIT last year, so they've had some recent success, and that's rolled right on into this 16-17 season. Dallenberg goes back to the bench for Madison with his second foul, so a couple of prominent players with 2 fouls just a quarter into the ball game. That's a jumper that's going to hit nothing but the bottom of the net for Robinson, who is the first player in double figures this evening. He's up to 11, matching his jersey number.
Yeah, well, he's had a great start to this game. And, he's only 5'8", so these jump shots for him, he's got to sky these balls to avoid them from being blocked. And that's what he's done, is these balls are just teardropping into the bucket. That's why it's such a pretty shot.
We get an illegal screen from Vodanovich. Tom gets his second personal foul. And that has been, you've got Vodanovich and Dallenberg with 2 fouls, and that has also been an early sore spot for Coach Rowe, is the foul situation, particularly for the big guys. And that's tossed up, chucked up and in for Rutherford, his second three-pointer. And that lead back out to 11 for the second time in this first half of play.
Well, you've got Derek Griffin on the bench right now, so this is an opportunity for the Dukes to go on some runs without one of the stronger defensive players for Texas Southern on the court right now, but the Dukes cannot get themselves into foul trouble while they're trying to get this run, especially from a guy like Vodanovich, who's been the source of energy for the Dukes early.
Shotkus will check out. Snowden out of Virginia Beach will come back in.
Well, now you got Vodanovich, Shakir Brown, and Snowden, guys who like that perimeter, so I think they're trying to open up the 3-ball a little bit here.
And the finger roll, and it just lips out. That has to be frustrating for Vodanovich. Will cross over there, and Vodanovich tries to smack it away, and it's tapped in. Marvin Jones.
I think that last touched Vodanovich into his own bucket, so he doesn't get the luck on the rim at the other end, and then comes down and puts one in his own bucket. Just tough ball luck early for JMU.
Snowden out front, waiting for something to open up. He's going to drive, kicks it right. Here is Brown. Winston Gray's tried to magically get it in. Winston sitting to our right, formerly ward number 3 for the Dukes, and shot 3-pointers.
Seems like we're watching replays on offense here. They're getting the 3-ball, just missing, and Vodanovich smacking it back out for the offensive board. JMU's rebounded the ball offensively very well early. There, Tom gets one. Just a little finger roll, a soft touch there inside the paint. That one must feel good.
He has a half dozen points. Dukes back down to the 11-point deficit. Vodanovich with 6 points. Averages just 4.3 through the first 3 games of the year. Ball ripped for Walker, kicks it out right side, and Rutherford hits nothing but air. And that'll bring us to a media timeout. The Tigers out of the gate leading the Dukes 29-18. Back with more after this timeout. You're watching JMU Men's Basketball on Madison HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association.
Hey, you're the...
I used to ask if you could hear me now, but I switched to Sprint.
I switched too.
Great.
Have you seen all the whining from Verizon?
I think Verizon the Goliath is panicking. People are switching to Sprint. All these networks are great now. People are tired of overpaying.
Sprint cut my rates by 50%.
Sprint's network covers nearly 300 million people, and their network reliability is within 1% of Verizon. Can you hear that?
Switch to Sprint and save 50% on most current Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile rates.
Centera is pleased to announce the opening of the new Centera RMH Orthopedic Center. This facility provides a state-of-the-art home for a comprehensive orthopedic program that has grown to 9 doctors and 6 physician assistants. The new center also features the convenience of on-site advanced imaging services, including MRI, CT, and X-ray, and a large open gym for therapy services and sports rehabilitation. To learn about the new Centera RMH Orthopedic Center, visit Centera.com.
Virginia Business Systems delivers fast-forward document solutions to help JMU Athletics build the teams they need to win. With over 7 offices and over 70 employees in Virginia, we strive to deliver the best in digital document technology. VBS Innovation takes our clients to new levels. But we're not just a proud supporter, we're also a Duke Club member, and we're owned by 2 JMU alums. Go Virginia Business Systems.
Pepsi is the official beverage partner of JMU Athletics. Hopefully you can enjoy a Pepsi product tonight while you watch the Dukes against the Tigers of Texas Southern. Kurt Dudley and Adam Coolbaugh on a Monday evening. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Of course, many of the students have left town as they've gone for the Thanksgiving holiday break. But a few have stayed in town, like Adam. Still kind of doing a little work here, right?
That's right. Didn't want to miss any JMU basketball too early here.
Duke shooting just 26% from the floor, 50% though for Texas Southern. Here's Shakir Brown as he bodies up, and he'll score the bucket for the Dukes.
Nice soft touch. We know the 3-ball is dangerous for him. That hasn't been working early, so he goes inside, gets a nice soft touch to cut this lead down to 9.
Shakir coming into the game a 30% three-point shooter, 7 of 23. He's taken a couple of shots already today. A holding call against Terrence Johnson. That's his first.
And that's a tough break because that looked like it was about to be a turnover in Duke's ball.
That's his first, team foul number 7, so we're into the bonus. Marvin Jones, the 7-footer from Chicago, at the line. He doesn't look quite 7 feet to me.
Yeah, well, he's lengthy.
And a rebound pulled in by Tom Vodanovich from New Zealand. Bodo already up to 5 rebounds today. His best game rebounding. He had 12 against Elon in January of 2015. Walker picks up his second foul, team foul number 8. So the Dukes will get a one-on-one opportunity. Jackson Kent 9 for 10 thus far this year. Will go to the free throw line. It's a 1-and-1. And it will not drop in. Just does hang on the outside of the rim where Marvin Jones goes to get it. Only the second miss this year for Kent. Rutherford, he hit too early. He likes that shot now.
Yeah, he certainly does. He's called his number quite a bit. He got those too early and now has missed his last 2, so maybe back to the drawing board for him.
Snowden tries to drive baseline, kicks it back out. That's a dangerous pass. Ivan Lukic has reported back in for the Dukes.
Oh, trying to get the pick and roll going. It looks like they almost collided there.
Yeah, going to get a little different spacing there. Shot clock down to 8. Pushed up, two-handed shot by Jackson Kent. That looked more like a volleyball set than it did a basketball shot. And that three-pointer missed.
And Delani's starting to cool off a little bit here too. He's missed his last 2 threes as well.
5 for 13 are the Tigers from beyond the arc. The Dukes a mere 2 of 12. Now the baseline clear out, and that's ripped from behind. Lukic found himself in dangerous territory, so he'll throw it off his opponent.
Well, how about that play defensively by Jackson Kent? Great job to be able to get his hands on the ball there and strip it away without fouling. That's a huge play defensively, especially when JMU's in the bonus.
Yeah, and particularly since the player got around the corner on him to begin with.
Yeah.
Oftentimes that just leads to a foul if you're trying to make up that ground.
Yeah.
Zach Lofton is checked back in, and he's got 4 thus far tonight. Keep an eye on number 2 of Texas Southern. Dukes 2 home games this Thanksgiving week here at the Convocation Center, and we get a foul away from the basketball that's going to result in a JMU turnover. It's a hold on Joey McLean.
Well, that was one thing I found interesting against Rice, is that a lot of those first half fouls were off the ball fouls.
Yes. So the Dukes continue out with Johnson and Snowden, Brown, Lukic, Jackson Kent, and another one hit by Rutherford. He has 9 all on trays. 12-point spread, Texas Southern.
Got a very animated but passionate Lou Rowe on the sideline here. I think he's just getting a little frustrated because he knows the Dukes are close.
3-point try by Johnson off the mark. Fans wanting to walk. There's another block, this one by Snowden. Jackson Kent out and running with it for James Madison.
Strong play defensively there by Snowden.
Jackson through the lane, and he gets fouled. He'll get a chance to shoot a couple when we return. Timeout on the floor, our final media timeout, 3:43 to go before the break. Jackson Kent has some free throws, and we come back here on Battlezone HD Sportsnet.
The Residence Inn by Marriott provides guests with plenty of room. Room to recharge. Room to prepare. Room to relax. Stay one night or as long as you like. The Residence Inn by Marriott provides each guest with amenities tailored to their individual needs. Spacious suites with all the comforts of home, because it's not just a room, it's a residence.
momentum and trying to make his way into the end zone for the third time today. What an effort for Brian Shore.
There's a great place to find high-quality cars without the hassles. And it all starts here at CarMax.
We believe that buying a high-quality used car should be hassle-free. So at CarMax, we start with a low, no-haggle price on every car.
With a great selection on every lot, you can test drive an incredible variety of cars all in one place.
And every CarMax car is protected with a 30-day warranty and a 5-day money-back guarantee.
So when you're ready to start the search for your next car, come see the way car buying should be at CarMax. Start here.
I'd like to thank our Team Madison partners, Pepsi, Sprint, and Centera RMH. Like I said, some of the students have left town. Pep band still brassing it strong.
Yeah, as they always are. They bring the energy. I was one thing that I loved watching as a spectator when I would come to these basketball games is the Pep band. Man, they're hilarious. They get involved. They like chanting at the other team.
They are brassy and they are sassy.
Kurt, I can always count on 3 or 4 corny statements like that from the Pep broadcast.
Yes.
I love it.
Jackson Kent missed his first free throw tonight, but he hits his second. Second shot up and in there for Jackson Kent. Jackson's father sitting up above us just a little bit. Saw him when we came into the lower level of the arena. And a little pressure applied by the Dukes this time down the floor, but they get it down the floor and are very efficient with it. Kevin Scott launches a tray. He's an 18% three-point shooter, and he's 100% tonight.
Yeah.
He's 3 for 12 on the year.
He's knocking him down when it counts. It looks like JMU's done a little bit of research on who's the hot three-point shooters because it's almost like they're inviting it sometimes just to see if they can get the miss to try and spark this comeback. But, man, when they're shooting lights out like they are tonight, that's going to be a difficult task.
Inside, Lukic is going to have to finish it up with 5 seconds to play, and steps are called. Tried to take a couple extra hops to open up some space down below the right block. But in doing so, well, he left the pivot foot. Robinson, a 5'8" senior. Well, right there in the heart of Pac-10 country, you know, California right there in Berkeley, in the Oakland, San Francisco Bay area, Stanford across the bay, San Jose State, Santa Clara. Dukes have been out there a couple of times to play in the Cable Car Classic. Played a single game, and the Dukes went out, we were talking about going across the country to Montana State. They went across the country and played Stanford one game early in the years of Matt Brady. Snowden with that driving bucket is his first 2 of the day.
And there's a miss for him. Not 100% anymore. And that's the second miss in a row for Texas Southern. Let's see if JMU can start. As Snowden's going to the free throw line here. They're trying to cut this deficit here right before halftime, and it looks like they're doing so.
That was Rutherford's second personal. Team foul number 10, so Snowden will get a chance to pop in a couple here. 10 for 16 at the stripe this season. He has 3 with that free throw. And so Rutherford will go out, and Lamont Walker with 2 fouls will come back in with under 2 minutes to go before the break. Again, stick around with us at halftime. We're going to chat with Mike Houston, head coach of the JMU and playoff-bound CA champion football Dukes.
A big defensive opportunity here for JMU before halftime.
Dukes have a chance to keep it in single digits going into the break here with some intense D, maybe a little low. And they do get the rebound, does Lukic. Here's to Kent.
Misses in a row. Some momentum picking up.
Dukes will slow it back down again. Kent will run the point. Lukic, here comes Snowden in the man-to-man, Texas Southern. Brown, that's rejected by Jones. Tigers come up with a basketball. A minute to go here before the intermission. Splitting the defenders, Lofton. Shakir Brown gets in his hand in there for a moment. Little crossover. Well, they let a lot of contact go at first.
And he took the charge.
His contact out here on the corner of the arc looked like it was enough to get a foul in earlier games we've seen.
Yeah.
Snowden takes the charge, and that is 3 fouls on Walker, who just did come back in for Rutherford, and Rutherford will come back in. Dukes will have to shoot the basketball before the intermission. With the shot clock about 13 seconds less than the game clock. Lukic spins, drops it underneath, and nobody was home. He thought Shakir Brown was going to be there, but they misconnected.
Yeah, it looks like he started to make that cut to the hoop and then stopped himself. A little hesitation. The Dukes are struggling here late to try and open up space for shooters here. This Texas Southern team is all over them, not giving them any room, and that's causing some turnovers and some players who are trying to make a very athletic bucket instead of anything easy.
Fans are counting down something opposite, and a turnover just unaccounted for, and they are going dancing in the NCAA for the first time since 2000. Congratulations, Lauren Steinbrecher. She'll be at O'Neill's with us tomorrow for our weekly Fan and Press Luncheon, along with Coach Houston and Coach Lewis Rowe. Sean O'Regan women's basketball, they're on their way to Mexico, and they started off strong, do the Dukes, as Johanny Dallenberg picks up his second field goal.
Yeah, and you see Joey McLean dishing them down low. We talked about how little assists that the Dukes have this season, and all of that starts with Joey. I'd like to see him attacking the basket, using that quickness and speed, and really try and get down low so he can draw some players inside so he can just kick it back outside for some open threes.
A little crossover maneuver for Lofton, and he draws some contact. It's Jackson Kent's first personal foul. And that does send Lofton to the free throw line. So Lofton goes to the stripe. 2 for 2 tonight. 17 for 27 on the year. He's up to 6 points. Bogdanovich will get it across the midcourt stripe, needs some assistance. And he gets the ball handler, McLean, to come up and give him a help.
And Dukes look to be running a play here.
Bogdanovich on the low right block, bumps in, spins. Rebound by Dallenberg, and as he goes back up, we get a foul. Mary Rose makes the call.
You know, it all started with Johanny going up strong and holding on to that ball. He uses his body to just body off any other guys coming in. He goes up strong, gets the ball, holds on to it, and would have been an easy bucket had he not been fouled.
So Yogo goes to the free throw line. That's 3 fouls on Jones.
And more efficiency from Johanny at the free throw line. He's a guy who's going to get a lot of offensive boards and try and get those second chances, and that's where he's going to get fouled a lot. So if he can continue to shoot well from the free throw, that can be a deadly weapon for the Dukes.
You know, I didn't notice it when we were here for the Rice game, but I was watching online, did not get a chance to go to the Montana State game, although I wanted to go to Big Sky Country. Never been there before.
Yeah?
With the JMU Sprint Broadcast Network, but with the home football game Saturday, that didn't allow me to do so. But I was watching online with the production for Montana State, and Yo-Yo didn't look like the same Yo-Yo I remember at the free throw line. He was just very calm and casual and very smooth at the stripe. Dukes will get the ball on this hustle play.
And when I say this, I don't mean for it to sound negative, but he was almost to the point where he just had to accept that he just was not strong from the free throw line last year. And once he accepted that, you can only grow from there. So I think that is why you're seeing that calm rapport from him.
Well, and he works hard at everything that he does. I mean, he analyzes quite a bit.
Certainly. He's one of the great personalities on this team. He's a great guy. He's a hard worker. And he'll be the first one to tell you when he's struggling with something. And so, again, it's that acceptance, the fact that he's able to admit to himself what his strengths and weaknesses are. That's what's making him grow so much as a basketball player.
You know, one of the things, I don't know, and I've talked at length with Yo-Yo several times throughout his career, and you know, one of the things that he struggles with, and I don't know if you can consider it a strength or a weakness, is when his teammates kind of let him down. And what I mean by that, here's Lofton. You know, he has high expectations, and when he feels like others may not be meeting those expectations, he struggles with that, quite honestly.
Sure. It's one thing when your game, when how hot you are affects your confidence level, but when your teammates are hurting your confidence level, that's a whole other story.
And it's not so much what I need to really explain that a little bit further. For example, and this really does simplify it. Is a teammate eating French fries? You know, what kind of nutrition are they getting? That's the type of thing that he wants everybody to put it 100%, and he does try.
Sure. Well, growth is done outside of the classroom, certainly, and
we get a bumping foul on Kent. That's his second, both of them occurring since we've started the second half. So 3 minutes in, he picks up 2. Yo-Yo will head out. And Terrence Johnson. I guess the bottom line is Yo-Yo doesn't like to take shortcuts, and he doesn't like to see other people take shortcuts either. Oh, a lot of contact, but no foul. Plenty of time on the shot clock, so they clear out and get that matchup. Little pitch. How about that play?
And that's some strong ball movement. It all starts with Delani taking the ball down low. He's able to wiggle himself past Shotkus, and that's what drew the extra coverage. And that's what opened up Griffin so wide open there.
See, there's a hesitation that the Dukes, even though Shotkus gets a 3, unexpectedly so, his first this season.
And he is smiling right there because he was waiting for pressure to come to him. He looks left, he looks right, sees nothing's coming. That was probably the most calm three-pointer of the entire game. And we've seen some three-pointers from guys who are used to knocking him down.
That's only the 8th of his career. He's only tried 22.
Oh, certainly.
So it's typically not what he is going to attempt.
Yeah, sure, but when he's that wide open, he'll take it.
But right before that, Snowden gets free down the corner, and nobody's cutting. Nobody's cutting to the rim. Nobody's cutting through the lane to give him a potential someone to get the ball to.
And it's that movement, whether he decides to pass the ball or not, it's that movement down low that's going to open up shooters outside, and that's why you haven't seen too many wide open threes for the Dukes tonight.
Or even open up another lane for somebody. I mean, if
exactly.
you got to clear out there, just standing around is not going to get it done.
Yeah, backdoor cuts, pick and rolls. I'd just like to see a little more technical play from JMU.
Here's McLean off to Snowden. He's going to launch a 3, in and out, will not fall.
And the Dukes could have used that one, as that was good ball movement, nice transition basketball.
So Jones comes up with a rebound. And that's his 4th. So that's half of his season average. A drive for Lofton, and they're going to count it, are they? There's a foul. And there'll be a couple of free throws when we come back. 15:09 to go. Dukes down 41-35. They're right on the heels of the Tigers when we come back here on Matazone HD Sportsnet.
Instead of asking yourself, where did those 4 years go? Think about where the next 40 will take you. Be involved.
And they'll get another possession, and that tracked down by Griffin. Dukes have trailed by double digits on a couple of occasions, but are right there with the Tigers here in the second half. First 5 minutes elapsed. Backdoor pass is knocked away by Bogdanovic. Here's a jump ball, and that's pulled in by Johnson. He has it tapped away. Nobody there to pick it up as a lot of contact again.
Well, Kevin Scott trying to go with the no-look pass. He was faking it to the outside, trying to slip his guy in down low. I thought it was a creative play, but it was defensed well by James Madison.
McLean coming off, gets it down low off the block. Here's Shotkus. Shotkus off the back of the glass. That's 2 for Paulius. He's up to 6.
Nice finesse left hand there for Paulius. The Dukes have been successful down in the paint against these big guys. I mean, Derek Griffin.
Well, I think their foul situation, you can't let the C part like that.
Yeah, Derek Griffin is certainly playing knowing that he's got 2 fouls already. He's got to just cut his aggressiveness a little bit.
And that was exactly the point I was about to make, is that, of course, with the foul situation inside, there's a nice block for Griffin. The foul situation for Texas Southern also permits the Dukes to play a little stronger inside. We get a foul. Hold on, here we go. We get a technical foul. Larry Rose.
Yeah, I thought I saw an elbow.
This may be a double tech. We'll see.
Yeah, it looks like Bogdanovic took an elbow to the stomach there. It was a strong rebound.
Well, Larry is a veteran at officiating. And he knows when things are not going too well, and he's going to take it under control. Believe me, and he has been in some big-time games as an official throughout the years.
All right.
There you see it right there. Bogdanovic with the foul. But was there not a technical foul?
I saw the T. I thought I saw the referee make the signal.
There should be some shots.
Double technical.
Okay, so it was a technical on Bogdanovic as well as Griffin. Now that might be, Bogdanovic should get double fouled on that too, I believe. It's because Griffin will pick up his 3rd foul. Let's see if that registers. Now it's just showing 3. Dallenberg finishes on the nice throw inside.
And nice patience from Dallenberg. He wanted to originally go up early, but he could hear the footsteps coming behind him. He had 2 Texas Southern players ready to swat that, so he holds onto it for a second, waits for them to hit the floor, and then he lays it in for the easy bucket.
Dallenberg with 10 points. He's the first Duke in double figures.
Yeah, we've got a 5-point game, so things are starting to get a little more intense here at the Convocation Center. The crowd's starting to get into it, and a nice block from Johnson there.
And only 2 seconds remains on the shot clock.
So they're going to have to think of something quick here.
Coach Rowe was way down the line, and Larry said, get back in. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. And the floater goes off the iron, and a new shot clock opportunity. Here's Rutherford. He'll put it up and in. It's no good. And count that as the Griffin muscles his way through.
Well, he's doing everything tonight. He's stealing the ball. He's getting rebounds defensively. We saw a huge block from him earlier, and I think he added a second one early in this second half. And then he's getting the offensive rebounds as well and finishing his own plays off. This is a versatile center.
Shotkus with Rutherford. Spins. That's goaltending. And so count that to Shotkus. Paulius, when he got the house money with the trade that he hit, he's up to 8 points.
Yeah, well, he's starting to feel himself a little bit. He's made his living down low here tonight. He's got a nice left hand where he's just getting soft touches on the rims. You know, he's had a good game here tonight.
So the Dukes down by 5 again. And you get the sense that they're a little bit more aware defensively, although there's some penetration. for Scott just as I say that, and he floats it up the teardrop for 5, back out to a 7-point deficit for JMU.
Yeah, it just seems like JMU is coming out the second half with a little bit more of a game plan, a little more systematic of an offense, and defensively, as you mentioned here. They're trying to take advantage of those one-on-one matchups, and so far it's worked as they've been able to cut this deficit.
Had a chance, and there's a nice offensive rebound. Dallenberg to Brown, back to Dallenberg again, one-on-one, and he lost the handle.
They're calling it off with Dallenberg. Kurt, we've seen, well, are we going to timeout
I
here?
think we are, yeah.
All right.
Hold that thought.
All
okay?
right, we'll do.
We'll get it when we come back. 48-41, JMU trailing by a touchdown here on Madison HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association.
I do feel like I make a difference. I love coming to work every day. I love the relationships that I've built. I just feel like I can't say enough good things about DCCU.
I have a passion for helping people. I like making them feel welcome.
I love this job because I get to help people every day.
As a member, you feel valued from the moment you walk in the door, even to your online experience.
We do help make people's lives better at DCCU. Knowing that you were able to make a difference in somebody's life is definitely a wonderful feeling.
Welcome back, and we'd like to thank once again our Merchants for Madison. This is the other half of that Gold Merchants for Madison team, and great partners that they are with JMU Sports Properties and JMU Athletics. I want to thank them for their great support to help to bring you these programs free of charge here on Madison HD Sportsnet. Also, certainly you can patronize those fine folks. I spent a few dollars at the Dental Health Associates throughout the years.
Well, I've spent
my
some
insurance
money
company, I should say.
Oh, the opposite end. I've spent some money at Bella Luna.
There we go. Hey, you had a thought. Do you remember what that thought was?
Yeah, I certainly do. We've seen a couple 4-0 runs for the Dukes as they're cutting this deficit here, but then those have ended by missed threes. So the Dukes can really start thinking about tying this game up once they're hitting those big threes to take it from, instead of a 4-0 run, to a 7-0 run. It just seems like they're starting to get a little bit of momentum, and then they just can't get that three-point shot down, so they can't abandon it.
And there, a shot clock violation. The Dukes defense holding stout, so there's a stop. Now let's see what they do at the other end. A chance to cut it back to 5.
Well, this might seem a little elementary of a thought here, but every possession after a turnover is huge for the Dukes now. That's how you cut these deficits, and they've got to be careful with that.
That's keeping it simple, and if you can do so, the next thing you know, you got a lot of money in the bank.
Yeah.
It's like rolling up pennies. They all count eventually. Here's Brown. He'll try to cut it. Oh, off the back of the iron. Tapped out. And that, nice play by Joey McLean.
Well, he was aware of that half-court line there as he hops over to avoid the backcourt.
Although I'm not sure after a miss like that if that's applies or not. All right, here is Johnson among the trees going back up, and we get a foul, and that will send Ramon Snowden to the